There are a few things that need to happen for a whale watching trip to be considered successful. One is you need to see a whale, preferably alive. And two is to not get seasick. And I get terribly seasick.
I'm seasick now, actually.
You're in a hammock.
It's also a bonus if you don't get eaten by a whale, but make sure you get something to eat yourself before the trip, because
You have to have something in there to throw up.
And I definitely recommend hamburger bullans just off the road.
Best in town.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for most to go whale watching. For us, it's like 15 minutes away. But have you ever been? To Time Warp Iceland.
They're the only EarthCheck Platinum certified whale watching company in the world, whatever that means.
Sounds good. We have to be at the visitor center at the latest 12:45. And the visitor center is basically that floating thing over there.
Floater.
The floaters. Yeah. But he said there was a bar.
And it's sunny. That means beer.
This is a luxury tour.
Right.
They didn't give us a ticket for that. I'm not sure how that's a luxury. That looks really uncomfortable.
And cold. I mean, we only have X many days like this in a summer, so I think it'd be fairly chilly most of the time. And wet.
I would definitely not count on this weather.
No. But they've all got these snazzy little suits on, so really little red Teletubbies.
I don't eat whale. Not that I'm against eating meat. It's just the practice is barbaric. So, I'm very much against it. Down below, link, there's a petition to stop whale hunting. Interesting that they have the whale hunting ships on the other side of the whale watching ships. Okay, serious stuff over. Let's have fun.
It's a catamaran.
I thought it's a catamaran.
It's a boat with two thingamajigs and a hole in the middle.
Didn't know you were so technical.
Boats are not my thing.
If you're trying to find your way here, this is conveniently close to the Penis Museum. This is the exact center of Reykjavik, just up there. I think it's a coincidence that they put the Penis Museum in the exact center of Reykjavik.
Probably not.
Penis is the center of everything.
When you're an entitled man. Middle-aged entitled man.
We know a few of those. This is a great opportunity to talk about entitled men. I used my considerable pull as a massive YouTuber with over thousands of subscribers. Well, almost thousands of subscribers.
Almost 1,000 subscribers.
Well, it's almost in the thousands to get us a free ticket.
Yay!
But,
No, didn't
only
quite
one.
work.
I got 2 for 1 and a 10% discount for anybody watching. Check out the link below if you want to check out Elding. Already starting to feel a little bit seasick.
We're still on the dock.
Still the motion.
There is no motion.
The potential motion.
This is asphalt. Now you're on the floater.
even though Elding gave me a 2 for 1, there were no conditions, meaning I can keep my usual commentary, some mistake for dry humor for some reason. The floater is just a stationary boat, what some would call a dock, and it turns out to be a visitor center with a wildlife museum and the opportunity to sell you coffee and crap.
This is where Pinocchio lived.
No, that's too small of a whale. I don't think Pinocchio's dad was a tiny man.
Although I do admit that this is the coolest souvenir shop I've seen so far. This is Liam. He may be the reason I'm still alive today.
All right, we saw our first puffin.
Check that one off the list now.
Oh, there's an exhibition down there. It's quite dark down there. I'm not sure we're going to get any video.
See?
And it smells funny.
It does smell funny. Oh, I did say it was a floater.
They've got crabs. Oh, look, I have one of those. I can feel it like rocking a little bit. I'm starting to really worry about getting seasick. So my biggest worry is that I'm going to get seasick.
Right,
Well, a lot of people
so-
get seasick.
It depends
morning
on
there was
the weather.
a few ones. It was okay, like no one was really seasick, just a little bit. If
Okay.
you take a seasickness tablet and you stay outside during the tour, there's a high chance that you will be okay.
I'm going to stay outside.
We do give seasickness tablets free on board. Once you are seasick, there's not a lot we can do other than just tell you to try lying down. If that doesn't work, sit up and just stare at a point on the horizon,
All right, yeah.
stuff like that.
We have bags.
But it is it's better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
Because they are preventative, they're not a cure, so you can't take them after the fact.
I think I might risk it because I want to be here.
Towards the back of the boat while we're moving tends to be less rocky as well. If we've stopped because we see a whale, then the whole boat's going to rock about the same. Towards the back, outside should be the best spot.
That's great advice. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
This is the nervous laugh of a man who is not convinced at all, but he is a brave man who won't take a seasickness tablet because he is an adult and they don't mix well with beer. And as a proof that I am technically an adult, I was not asked to put on a life jacket.
I guess we only need those if we are like under 10.
The boat is surprisingly big with a 2-floor outdoor area and plenty of hard plastic seats, which aren't really designed for sitting on for 3 hours.
I think we should do as he says and go to the back of the boat. This is the spot.
You may want to get on the boat early
Right
to
here.
grab the seat you want.
What a day.
Cold.
It's probably going to be even more cold in Faxaflóa mid.
That's why we've got our big jackets on, and the beanie in the bag. Always be prepared.
They said also have sturdy shoes.
Check. Yeah,
Check.
well, ish.
Well, it's waterproof, so if you fall in, fine.
The toes are not going to get Can be the only dry part.
A beautiful day like this is not something you can take for granted. Fortunately, the boat also has an indoor area. Just as we were about to set off, a staff member came to remind us again that they had seasickness tablets on board, and this was the absolute last chance to take one. But I am an adult,
Remember when we
goddammit.
went to the Westman Islands and had it over the other day? You were fine then.
Yeah, that's because I stayed at the back. But that wasn't 3 hours.
No.
I chickened out.
With or without the puffin hat? Let's do
Puffin
the
hat is preferred,
Everyone
yeah.
loves the puffin hat.
Are we gonna see some whales?
Yeah, so we can't guarantee anything. They are living animals. You know, we don't control them at all. But we did see 5 this morning. The chances of us seeing them are quite high. We marked out where they are. We know around which coordinates. Hopefully they haven't all just decided to suddenly disappear on us, and they are all still there. 5 whales. There's bound to be one still out there somewhere. We just got to get out and find it. So it is looking really good. And the sea conditions are absolutely fantastic today. Very sunny, quite flat. Might get a bit of rocking, but besides that, it's just looking really good today.
What happens if we don't see it?
If you don't see any whales, we at Elding do actually offer complimentary tickets, and they're valid for 2 years, either here with us in Reykjavik or up north in Akureyri, which is near Húsavík. I may have pronounced that wrong. I need to work on my Icelandic.
That's good enough.
You know, if you're here for just a couple of days and you plan on traveling, then you can still use it in the same trip. But we only get maybe one trip where we don't see whales, maybe once a month. It's not too often. They are generally out there, but again, we can't make guarantees.
Getting seasick.
Oh, already.
He may have let it slip that it only ever happens once a month that they don't see a whale. Up until now, they have been very clear that there are no guarantees as a way to manage expectations. But I was feeling very optimistic now that we would at least see a whale. But I was worried that I had left it too late to take the seasickness tablet in an attempt to prove that I was an adult. So my main focus now was to be able to enjoy the trip. So we sat at the back and stared at the horizon.
While we sail out to sea, let me ask you a question.
What?
Why have you never been to see whales?
Because I have PTSD from watching Pinocchio as a kid.
Seriously?
I'm terrified of whales. I think they're gonna eat me.
Okay.
I'm a tasty little morsel.
Yeah, you are quite tasty. Like a little seal. I'll protect you.
You better.
But if it does swallow you, contented.
Good luck with that.
If you see a tiny bird flapping its wing very quickly near the water, near the surface, it's most likely an Atlantic puffin.
I hope you see some puffin.
And literally the same minute I saw this little fella, I swear it's a puffin.
How you feeling?
It's definitely not my favorite motion, but I've been worse. Kind of feel like after having like 6 or 7 beers the night before, but that might be because I did have 6 or 7 beers the night before. 30 minutes since my seasick tablet that's supposed to work in 40 minutes.
Got your kicking in 10, let's see.
Yeah, should kick in 10. I have to live 10 more minutes.
Hang in there, tiger.
Halfway in, no whales.
Closer to the area where we saw the whale this morning. So we're all eyes out, looking all around, trying to spot the whales.
So it's time for a quick update. I don't know if the audio is going to be good on this,
It's a bit windy.
but I'm seeing whales everywhere, but it turns out to be like just the sea. It messes with
wave.
your head. It could be the pill I took.
It's not a seasickness pill, it makes you see whales.
That's it. We're 15 minutes in. I'm not seasick, which is good. The
Yeah.
anticipation is wearing down, I guess. I definitely think it was a good idea to have thick jackets.
Yeah.
But they do provide the uniform things.
Sexy onesies.
Yeah, the sexy onesies. You can borrow them. Also a blanket if you get cold. So it's not end of the world if you don't bring your big fancy jacket.
Then finally, after 1 hour of staring at nothing,
We have a blow!
the crew spotted something in the distance.
Again, the blow was still visible at 12 o'clock.
We're 1 hour in.
We definitely couldn't see anything from the
Still
back.
there at 12 o'clock. We don't see the blow
this
again
is
and
not my
the
favorite.
black body.
So I tried to make my way to the front of the boat.
Again,
But
and
as it
the
turns out,
black
that's
body
not
of the
so
animal.
easy when there is a
Seems
whale
like
on the
it's a
horizon.
humpback whale.
If you want to be at the front, you got to be early at the front. Because if you're going to get seasick, this is when it's going to happen.
As soon as I let go of that word, he spotted vomit on the deck below.
Yeah, this is when it's going to happen.
And then, finally, we saw it. Great, can we turn around now? Apparently not. We watched as the whale dove for 2 to 5 minutes at a time, only to resurface for a few seconds to catch its breath. But it was quite exhilarating, and the atmosphere on the boat when it did surface was palpable. Is that a word?
Okay.
It didn't take long for the other boats to realize that we had found the whale, so soon the poor whale was the most popular whale in the ocean. And credit to Elding, once they saw 2 more boats approaching, they decided to leave this one alone to go check out another whale that had been spotted a few minutes away. And that's where we would catch our very best glimpse of a whale. The luxury crew realized this also and sped ahead.
That looks a lot more seasicky. I have felt better, but at least we've seen a whale.
You haven't thrown up yet. So.
Yeah, flag is barely moving, but we're moving. But this doesn't happen often.
When we caught up with the next whale, it surfaced right in front of the boat, and we of course missed it. This would be the closest we will get to a whale on the trip, but we did manage to get this one final shot just before the battery died on my camera, and I'm very happy with it.
One thing I underestimated. I was thinking, should I take the battery with me for charge? Why should I? I spent pretty much all the battery just staring at the sea.
Yeah.
Take extra batteries for sure. We're recording on the phone now. Camera, dead. GoPro, dead. Audio, well, that's fine actually.
Don't worry if you don't manage to catch any photos. The guides try their best to take good photos with a good lens, and they will share them with you upon request. And thank you, Elding, and all the excellent guides who made the trip both memorable and puke-free.